Hey everyone, this is Annie from the Kawartha Art Gallery. On this third episode of Projects for Kids 11 to 13, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make crystal egg geodes. In case you don't know, geodes are rocks that while they look normal on the outside, they're actually lined with crystals on the inside. We're going to be performing a chemical reaction to achieve this amazing effect. You will need empty eggshells, washed and dried. I have 4 shells because I'm making 4 geodes here, but you can make however many you want. Water, and we're going to be needing about a half cup of it, and we're going to boil it later. Epsom salt, which will turn into our crystals. They sell these at basically any pharmacy, and we'll be needing about a 3/4 cup of it. White glue, and food coloring, which is optional, but I like how it looks. To start, you're going to want to spread some glue on the inside of the eggshells with a paintbrush or with your finger. I'm just going to use my finger since I don't have a paintbrush on hand. And this may remind you of the robotic hand thing yesterday. And you're going to want to cover the entire inside of the shells. Now, you're going to want to take a little bit of your Epsom salt. Don't use too much here though, because we need it for later. And you're going to want to sprinkle it on the inside. And that glue we put, it should stick to it. And this way it'll give the crystals a spot for them to grow. And make sure to get all the sides. Oh, now, before we continue on, I have a confession to make. I am a fool. The following steps you see where I'm in the kitchen are filmed vertically, as in they're filmed like this and not like this. Oh, after we go back to the table, it's back to normal, so please just watch a minute of weird filming before everything is back to normal. Okay, bye. Okay, so now we're going to want to pour our half cup of water into a pot, and we're just going to want to bring it to a boil. You can get a parent to do this, or if you know how to boil water, then go ahead and do it yourself. Just don't burn yourself. Now that our water is boiling, you're going to want to sprinkle just a little bit of the salt in at a time. We don't want to pour in the whole thing or else it's not going to dissolve. And you're just going to want to stir it around until it completely dissolves. And then you'll pour in more salt, dissolve that, and you're just going to basically keep continuing this process until it's all dissolved. So yeah, it takes a bit of time, and that's why the water's heated up, because it'll dissolve faster that way. Okay, now that all of the salt is gone and dissolved into the water, I'm going to be pouring it into these cups. And since I'm using food coloring, I'm separating the solution. If you ended up not using any food coloring, or maybe just one color, you don't need to separate them into mugs like I have. So now I am just dropping bits of food coloring into each solution. And I did red, yellow, and green here. But if you have different colors, obviously use those instead. Or if you use no colors at all, then this step you can completely skip. Though, why wouldn't you use food coloring? It makes it look so much cooler. Now I'm just stirring the food coloring in just to make sure it's all dissolved, so that when we end up pouring it into the eggshells, it will make sure all of the crystals are the same color. Okay, and now you're going to want to pour your solutions into your eggshells. Make sure to fill it up as tall as you can go. See right here, I'm mixing colors, so I just made an orange one. And I spilled it a bit there, but that's fine. This is why we have the plastic bag down on the table, so that we don't make a mess. And yeah, as I said before, fill it up all the way to the top if you can, and this way the geodes will look a lot better. And just like that, we are done. Now all we have to do is play the waiting game. You're going to want to wait at least 24 hours in order to achieve the best results. Now that our crystal egg geodes are made, let's ask ourselves, how do these crystals even form? The geode is formed through a process called sedimentation. Adding all of the salt to the water made it what's known as a super saturated solution. So basically, there's too much salt in there and the liquid wants to get rid of it. So as it cools in our eggshells, the salt begins to settle on the bottom and begins crystallizing, and adding the solid salt to your seed crystals made them bigger. Okay guys, so I am currently covering up the results of our experiment. It has been about 24 hours since pouring in the saltwater mixture, and I've also poured out any remaining liquid. And you sorta gotta play around with it a little bit because some of the crystals in the center are still wet. So I just dumped those out, and after all that's taken care of, you will achieve this effect. Hey, thanks for watching. Remember, this is the third episode of a series of 5, so go watch the other 2 if you haven't already. Kids and parents, if you did this experiment, then take a quick picture of it, email it to this email address along with the child's name, age, and the title of the video you watched, and we will post it on the Kawartha Art Gallery website and social media so that you can see your own projects featured online.